This program is produced by Eagle Mountain Apostolic Resource Center. To find additional episodes of this program, as well as other content, visit eaglemountain.tv.
Hey everybody, welcome to Together We Build. My name is Mr. Sin.
You apish, beast-eating abomination.
Are you kidding me?
Okay, here we go. What is a group of pigs called?
A potluck?
How are you doing there, Foxy? Finding out what you're doing after this show. Maybe we could go grab some drinks or something. What do you say?
No, thanks.
I for sure will go in there to get that. Give me that thing.
No, it's not safe in my shirt.
Right here.
From you.
Hey everyone, welcome to Together We Build. My name is Chris Behnke. I'm here with Prudence O'Haire. This is Together We Build. If this is the first time you've ever seen one of these, you are in for something amazing. I can tell you that for sure. And you can find more episodes of this particular show on chrisandprudence.com. Check it out. We'd love for you to check it out. But today we're going after giving and receiving feedback, which I am a 100% professional. And so if you ever have any questions about giving and receiving feedback,
Yeah.
just talk to me. But before we talk about that, we got to do trivia or something, right?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, is that we got two parts to this feedback. So this is the first
part
episode, and then we'll have a second one.
Yes.
If it might already be out when you're seeing this, I don't know, but
Yes.
it's coming if you're waiting.
Yes.
So we're going to start out with a couple of I should have known that.
I should have known that. Is this a new thing? Wait, have we not done this?
It's a new little game I have here. So
I should have known that we had a I should have known that game.
So, in what classic arcade game do you steer a figure gobbling dots and prizes while being chased by monsters Blinky, Inky, Pinky, and Clyde?
Pac-Man?
Okay, we'll check your answer in just a minute. I want to make
sure,
sure that we get another thing on here.
That's 100% correct.
What do you call the nose of a horse?
Wait, Weebies.
No, that's our made-up word.
That's what you call it. You call it the nose, the snout.
Snout? That's for an alligator.
Wait, muzzle?
We'll see. What currency is used in Russia?
Rupee.
Okay. How many legs does an ant have?
I was going to say an odd number. I think 6.
Okay. Let's check your answers.
They're all correct.
6 legs on an ant. Okay, I'm going to need you to not do that while I'm reading the answers.
Okay.
Okay. A ruple.
And I said rupee. That's close enough. I give myself that one.
A muzzle.
A muzzle
Is a horse's nose. And Pac-Man is the game.
So I got 100%.
Basically.
What kind of prize do I get? Do I get a prize?
Nothing. You get no prize. You eradicated your prize by overusing
What prize
the
was
button.
I going to get?
We're done. No prize.
What prize
Why?
was I?
You aren't going to know. Okay. Let's see. What kind of nuts are used in a Waldorf salad?
Well,
I know this one. It's a mixture of cousins, aunts, and uncles.
they're just nuts. They're flipping nuts, bro. I want to say walnuts, but it's probably not walnuts because walnuts are pretty acidic. It's probably pecans.
It's not pecans. It's walnuts.
It is? I was right?
So if you think about
Waldorf,
Waldorf,
it's a walnut.
Walnut salad. Okay. What is the
I think you should give that one to me.
What is the clothing worn by surgeons and other medical professionals?
Scrubs. It's also the kind of guy that thinks
that's
he's
right.
fly,
Okay.
but sits on his broke.
What is the name of our galaxy?
The Milky Way galaxy?
What does a Jolly Roger flag usually depict?
Pirates use it to indicate that they're pirates.
Using what? What's on the flag?
Oh, a skull and crossbones.
Okay.
Obviously.
Yes, that is correct.
On all accounts.
And yes, that is correct. I'm surprised you knew this stuff.
Keep going.
What is London's most famous shopping street called? I'll answer this one.
Piccadilly Street.
I think it's Oxford.
Ooh.
Yep, I'm right. Oxford Street. We were there almost 2 years ago, actually.
Don't
Can
depress
you
me.
believe it's been 2
Don't
years?
make me depressed.
Okay, what color is the S emblem that Superman has on his chest?
What color is it?
Mm-hmm.
Yellow?
No, it's red. His S on his uniform is red. Okay, we're done with trivia. Now we're going to move on to a word that you should know to sound smart. Okay? How about the word mawkish? It's spelled Mawkish. Do you know what this means?
I did the trivia. Let me read these. I don't know what mawkish.
Do you know what that means?
It is the type of buckle used on dog collars. Mawkish.
No, it's an adjective and it means nauseating and sickly sentimental.
Nauseatingly sentimental.
Nauseating and sickly sentimental.
So this would be like,
Okay, so this is how they use it. I'm not even going to.
don't even try. Don't even try. That's just ridiculous.
Okay, anyway. Well, anyway. All right. That's our fun word. We actually really need to get into thanks for the feedback.
Mawkish.
So what we're doing is we are going, we're talking about this Thanks for the Feedback by Douglas Stone and Sheila Heen. You can buy this on Amazon.
He's going to start chewing that water bottle up.
The science and art of receiving feedback well.
Okay.
Why is feedback important to get and to give? Okay. We get feedback every day of our lives from friends and family, colleagues, customers, bosses, teachers, doctors. I mean, the list goes on and on and on.
Yeah, it does.
And we know that feedback is essential for professional development and healthy relationships, but we dread it and often dismiss it.
You dread it. I don't.
That's because while we want to learn and grow, we also want to be accepted just as we are. So this book is actually addressing this topic head on, and actually we've learned a lot from it, and we'll probably still chew on it in pieces here and there. But it's really important to know how to give feedback and know how to take it. Mm-hmm. Because this is kind of how we get better at things.
Yeah.
It's when we go to pay somebody for lessons on something, we're actually paying them for their feedback.
Oh, I never thought of it like that. That's totally true.
Mm-hmm. And all the
Why does that seem so
surveys-
much better than when the complainer comes up and tells you they don't like something that you said in your message or whatever?
Because you're not paying them for their criticism. So, a lot of stores nowadays will send you out surveys after you're done shopping with them.
Yeah.
And they want to know how well they did. And that's a form of feedback.
Yeah.
They're actively trying to find out how to make things better.
Mm-hmm.
So surveys are an excellent way to ask people for feedback and a great way for people to be able to give feedback in a format that isn't face-to-face.
You're saying just like a survey,
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, so we're going to start out with a couple of samples here. I'm going to read some pieces out of this book and then we'll just talk about it. But Margie receives a meets expectations, which sounds to her like, really? You still work here?
Yeah.
So your second grader's art project, Mommy Yells, that's the title of the project,
That's the title.
was a hot topic at the school's open house night.
Oh, boy.
Your spouse has been complaining about your same character flaws for years. You think of this less as your spouse giving you feedback and more as your spouse being annoying. All right. Thanks for the feedback is about the profound challenge of being on the receiving end of feedback, good or bad, right or wrong, flippant, caring, or callous. This book is not into improvement or a pep talk on how to make friends with your mistakes.
Ooh, I like that.
There is encouragement here, but our primary purpose is to take an honest look at why receiving feedback is hard and to provide a framework and some tools that can help you metabolize challenging, even crazy-making information and using it to fuel insight and growth. So I would say that giving and taking feedback is one of the most troubling spots in our relationships all around. Would you agree with this? I mean,
You mean the fact that people don't do it well?
the fact that we don't do it well, we don't take it well, like we actually,
I think,
it causes a lot of problems.
to answer your question, I think it is, I think that communication breakdown and conflict and the avoidance of conflict are probably the number one damaging factor in relationships. And I think the inability for people to give and receive feedback are the biggest problem in that problem. So it's kind of like in our culture, people feel like feedback is bad.
Because
If it's anything other than I love that, they
Right.
think it's like bad.
right. So we need to take ourselves and put ourselves, first of all, into a healthy place. And we talk about that a lot on this show. But a part of putting ourselves into a healthy place is understanding that feedback actually taken in the right context helps us grow and get better at whatever it is that we're doing.
Yeah.
Whether that's our business relationship or whatever it is.
Right.
We have to know where we're not doing well
Right.
in order to get better.
Yeah.
And we have to be interested in wanting to get better.
Yeah, it's kind of like, so like, let's say you want to become a better golfer. And so you could pay for lessons. That's one thing. Or you could like set up your phone and get an app and the phone videos your swing and then you can kind of see your swing. And that's one thing. And that all seems very reasonable. And that's all feedback. But I think I love the way you said that. But like outside of that, I think we kind of have this fear of it for some reason.
Yeah. Okay. So here's something we noticed early on. This is another little piece out of this book. When we ask people to list their most difficult conversations, feedback always comes up. It doesn't matter who they are, where they are, what they do, or why they brought us in. They describe just how tough it is to give honest feedback, even when they know it's sorely needed. They tell us about performance problems that go unaddressed for years and explain that when they finally give the feedback, it rarely goes well. The coworker is upset and defensive and ends up less motivated, not more. Given how hard it is to muster the courage and energy to give feedback in the first place and the dispiriting results, well, who needs it? Eventually, someone in the group will pipe up to observe that getting feedback is often no easier. The feedback is unfair or off base. It's poorly timed and even more poorly delivered. And it's not clear why the giver thinks they are qualified to offer an opinion. They may be the boss, but they don't really understand what we do or the constraints we're under. We are left feeling underappreciated, demotivated, and more than a less indignant.
Man.
Who needs it? Interesting. When we give feedback, we notice that the receiver isn't good at receiving it. And when we receive feedback, we notice that the giver isn't good at giving it.
Boy, that is so true.
Okay, so I think that's important
And
to
both
know.
sides of that equation are going to equal a train wreck.
Yeah. So it's really important to know that there are really two sides to feedback. A lot of times we're looking at people's criticism or whatever as just that. It's criticism. And, people, well, we just talked about it, are horrible at giving feedback. Right? They're not thinking.
Typically speaking, people aren't taught how to give and receive feedback well, even though I don't have the stat. I should probably look it up. But I believe the ability to receive feedback is the number one indicator of success in your career. Let's see if that's true.
Yep. So yeah, there was a, I think it's interesting that if we posture and position ourselves into understanding why we need feedback and how we grow in certain situations. I mean, we're like a gift to the boss. We're a gift to our spouse.
100%.
We're a gift to whatever organization we're volunteering at or whatever the case is. Like coming to your boss and saying, how well am I doing? Is like a dream for them. It's a dream for them because no one wants to come up to you and tell you what it is that you're doing poorly.
97% of your ability to succeed, according to this one study, 96% of your ability to succeed long-term in your career depends on your ability to receive feedback well.
Uh-huh. So
that's crazy. That's virtually everything.
So I have been working on the worship team here at our home church, Eagle Mountain in Bend, Oregon. How long has it been now? Over a year and a half, or I'm closing in on 2 years in December, actually.
Yeah.
And, I came to the head cheese of the worship department.
The head cheese?
This summer. And I'm like, hey, it's been this long since I've been on this team. And I'm just wondering, do you have any feedback to give me? Basically, is there anything that I'm doing that you don't like, I shouldn't be doing, I'm not paying attention to? Like,
and they said, please don't call me the cheese anymore.
I'm thinking maybe he was a little surprised that I came up and asked him that because typically speaking, people aren't out to ask you your opinion on how well they're doing in jobs and situations.
Right.
But he gave me all positive feedback, which is fine. But at the same time, had he given me something negative, I would have considered it and sought to change the situation if I needed to. But this is just like an example of yourself, taking yourself into whatever you're involved with and saying, how well do you think I'm doing? And I'm asking you in a context of growth, if you have any suggestions for me to pivot to, change to. Okay, so what counts as feedback? Feedback includes any information you get about yourself. In the broadest sense, it's how we learn about ourselves from our experiences and from other people, how we learn from life. It's your annual performance review, the firm's climate survey, the local critic's review of your restaurant. But feedback also includes the way your son's eyes light up when he spots you in the audience and the way your friend slips off the sweater you knitted her the minute she thinks you're out of view. It's the steady renewal of services by a longtime client and the lecture you get from the cop on the side of the road. You've never had any lectures.
That's never happened to me.
It's what your bum knee is trying to tell you about your diminishing spryness and the confusing mix of affection and disdain you get from your 15-year-old. So feedback is not just what gets ranked, it's what gets thanked, commented on, and invited back or dropped. Feedback can be formal or informal, direct or implicit. It can be blunt or not blunt, totally obvious, or so subtle that you're not sure what it is. Like that comment your spouse made a moment ago. I don't like the way those pants look on you.
Well, I think that's pretty obvious.
What do you mean you don't like the way these pants look on me? Is there something wrong with this particular pair of pants? Or was that a passive-aggressive reference to the weight I've put on? Another dig about how I'm living in the past or can't dress myself even as an adult? Are you trying to help me look nice for the party? Or is this your way of easing into asking for a divorce?
Good grief.
What do you mean I'm overreacting?
That is definitely
Like,
0 to 100 miles an hour
I
quick.
mean, haven't we all been there? We're just taking the comment that we're taking it for a ride. We're taking it for a drive. We're blowing it out of proportions.
Speaking of feedback, we have 6 minutes and 53 seconds left.
Are you serious?
Yep.
We're that fast? Oh my goodness. Okay. So, yeah, we don't even have time to get into how wiring affects our stories. I think I must have planned like a 6-hour session here.
You definitely have like 5 episodes worth.
So,
I mean, we could just do more than 2 parts.
yeah. So really how our wiring is, and we talk a lot about the Nexus profile here. And I think that actually does work when we talk about wiring and the different types. And even just how our families of origin have molded us to give, how were we taught to take and accept feedback?
Well, you're talking about 2 different things. You're talking about wiring, and then you're talking about family of origin.
Right.
And then there's another one, culture.
Yeah, culture.
And then there's
What's
another
acceptable.
one, learned behavior.
Yes. So I feel like it's relatively new that more and more stores are like sending out surveys to our phones or email boxes.
I mean, I don't feel like it happened 10 years ago, really.
Yeah, it's really become a lot more frequent because I think that they're figuring out, hey, if we can get, like, it's valuable. The feedback is valuable to us.
Absolutely.
It's valuable to our business, our church organization. Like, our churches should be actively surveying to find out how people are seeing us because we want to do better at what we're doing, right?
100%.
So about like anonymous surveys, sending out, I think anonymous surveys can help people actually be more honest.
You mean because when it's anonymous, they don't feel like they're going to get judged if they have something negative to say?
Yes, exactly.
Unfortunately, that is true.
Right. Yeah. So
I call that the keyboard warrior. So when they have anonymity.
That's a tough word.
Neither one of us is saying it right, but when it's an anonymous survey, they feel empowered. Oh, I'll tell you what.
Oh yeah, totally. I mean,
But at the same time, that is where some of the truth comes.
But I think that we need to make sure and remember there is somebody behind that survey. Even when we fill out something for like Walmart or, one of our favorite stores, a person is reading that when we send it back and it's full of
Nasty, grumpy stuff.
nasty things.
Yeah, it should be helpful,
Yeah.
Helpful.
So, and we see a lot of this without surveys, even on our content that we put out as a religious organization.
Yeah, we see some stuff.
Supposedly Christians are writing in nasty things that are hurtful. They're not helpful, and it's embarrassing, actually.
Yep.
It's really embarrassing.
I would say that happens a lot.
How many non-Christians are looking at you?
Yeah.
You need to pay attention to that. What kind of example that you're setting when you go after people in a nasty, vicious way like that.
Yeah, and also think about the effectiveness or lack thereof of that kind of feedback. Like, does that ever work? No, that never works.
No, it doesn't.
Being a nasty jerk kind of, on social media, it's not effective.
Yeah.
You look like a moron. Anyway, that's kind of off topic.
It is, but it's about feedback and how to manage yourself. Like, we just need to remember there's always a person behind wherever you're sending that message. Somebody's going to read that. They're going to get slimed. And it's not okay. Like, that's not behavior that the Lord condones at all.
Right.
I'm not saying that you can't come across, firm or even unsatisfied. Like, we need to say what we need to say, but to say it laced with profanity, to say it laced with name calling, to say it where it's demeaning and viciously attacking, that's not okay. All right. So anyway, how many minutes do we have?
1 minute and 54 seconds.
It's time to wrap up already. But anyway, This is just a little intro into feedback. We're going to do 2 on this. So we'll come back around and see if we can't dig in a little bit faster. Maybe cut out some of these trivia questions.
No, we need the trivia because I need the victories.
All right. So what do you got to say to close this out?
What do I got to say?
Can't dig in a little bit faster. Maybe cut out some of these trivia questions.
No, we need the trivia because I need the victories.
All right. So what do you got to say to close this out?
What do I got to say? So, couple things. First of all, Prudence referenced the Nexus profile. So if you want to learn more about the Nexus profile, you absolutely need to. You can take that for free by visiting thehumannexus.com. Click on the Take the Nexus for Free button, and you can actually take that assessment for free. It is absolutely amazing and will help you. There's tons of resources too that you can buy, and there's a bunch of resources that are free. You should do that. That will help you learn a lot about who you are, and will help you really, really understand how to give feedback, receive feedback based on the differences of how you're wired and other people, and it's awesome. If you want to learn more about everything that we do here at our ministry, you can find out about all of that and merch and all kinds of different stuff at chrisandprudence.com. So you definitely want to check that out. Go there. You can watch all the past episodes. This is the 4th season. Buckley, you just feel like you need to be included?
Can I help you?
So this is the 4th season of this amazing show. We would love to hear your feedback about this episode and what we're doing here. So reach out to us. You can do that at chrisandprudence.com. This show is produced by Eagle Mountain TV. You can find other amazing content like this by going to eaglemountain.global and clicking on the Eagle Mountain TV button. So we'd love to hear from you guys. We'd love to find out what feedback you have for us. Until the next time, we'll see you around. This is the first part of a 2-part episode, so we'll see you on the next one pretty soon. See you then.